We are talking about Pythagorean theorem, and we want to use the Pythagorean theorem. In this case, we're talking about the Pythagorean inequality theorem. So if c squared is less than or equal to a squared plus b squared, then triangle ABC is an acute triangle. However, if the hypotenuse is greater than the other two sides, or the two legs, then triangle ABC is an obtuse triangle. And all we have to do is just check that. So again, if this is a right triangle, the longest side has to be the hypotenuse. So we can say 7 squared is equal to the other two added together. So we're not checking to see if it's equal to. We want to check what sign is going to go there. So 5 squared and 6 squared are the legs. 7 squared is 49. And we still want to decide what sign is going to go there. And 5 squared is 25. And we want to add it to 36. So 25 plus 36 is 61. And 49. So 49 is less than 61. So because the hypotenuse is less than the other two added together, then this is an acute triangle. That means that none of the angles are equal to or greater than 90 degrees. We have another example that we want to check. And again, the longest side we would check to see if it's the hypotenuse. So the longest side here is 9. So we want to check if 9 squared, and we want to check the relationship between the sum of the other two added together. So that would be 4 squared and 6 squared. So 9 squared is 81. Four squared is 16. And 6 squared is 36. 16 plus 36 is 52. So 81 is greater than 52. So this is an obtuse triangle. So now we want to check the following 4 examples. And we want to check if the 3 sides are a right triangle, an obtuse triangle, or an acute triangle. And basically all we need to do is find the largest side. So in this case, example A, the largest side is 40. So we want to say 40 squared, and we want to check and see if 40 squared is equal to the sum of the other two sides, or the two legs. So 40 squared is 1600. And 20 squared is 400. And 30 squared is 900. So 1600 compared to these two added together, those are 1300. So 1600 is greater than 1300. So this is an obtuse triangle. Check the next one. Again, we want to find the hypotenuse. So the longest side would have to be the hypotenuse if it existed. So we're going to check 26 squared, and we're going to check how that is related to the two other sides, the sum of the squares of the two other sides. And we're going to add these together. So 26 squared, if we use our calculator, we get 676. And 10 squared, we get 100. And we want to check to see how these are related. And we get 24 squared is 576. So 676 is equal to 676. So this is a right triangle. I have example C, and we have to decide which is the biggest value. Obviously, 1 is not the biggest value, so we have to check between the square root of 7 and, so let's say square root of 7, that's equal to 2.654, and then we want to multiply it by 2 times the square root of 2. 2 times the square root of 2. So we can see that 2 times the square root is bigger than the square root of 7, so that has to be our hypotenuse. So we're going to check to see the relationship. Because there's 2 portions to this side, we have to put it in parentheses. So 2 times the square root of 2 squared. And we want to check the relationship between the other two sides. So we have 1 squared and the square root of 7 squared. So we distribute the 2 or the square in, so 2 squared is 4. And right here, the square root of 2 squared, the square and the square root cancel, so it's just left with 2. One squared is 1. And the square root of 7 squared, the square and the square root cancel, and we're left with just 7. So we finish up. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 is equal to 8. So again, this is a right triangle. One last one to check. This one's a little more straightforward as far as deciding which one's the hypotenuse. So 9 would have to be the hypotenuse because it's the longest. So 9 squared, and we want to check the relationship between the sum of the other two sides, sum of the square of the other two sides. So we have 6 squared and 8 squared. 9 squared is 81. And we want to check the relationship to the other two sides. 6 squared is 36, and 8 squared is 64. 36 plus 64 is 100. And on the left side, we have 81. So 81 is smaller than or less than 100. So this is an acute triangle.